Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. Today I'm going to share some Valentines that I made for my boys using items left over from a scrapbook kit. Even if you're not a card maker, the distressing and layering techniques I'm going to share are ones that you can use on your scrapbook layouts. I'm going to be using the Nostalgia Limitless Kit from Not Just for Boys Kit Club. I used this kit to create a wedding scrapbook layout earlier in the month. If you missed that, I'll add a link for you in the description below. I want to use these bright red letter stickers from Pink Fresh as sentiments on some Valentine cards. I'm also going to pull in a few of the elements from these ephemera packs and pair them with patterns in this collection to create the cards. I'll also bring in a few other items and I'll make sure that I add those to the supply list in the description below. For this first card, I have cut a piece of red paper from the My Dog collection as the A2 base, and I'm going to layer some of this lovely wood grain floral over the top. I'm going to tear this along the edge and add a little bit of distressing using a sanding block. The sanding allows some of the white core to show through and bring some aging to the card. Creating cards for my boys can be a bit of a challenge. We aren't the mushiest bunch, so the cards I give them are usually silly or simple and always have a gift card inside to their favorite place to shop or eat. Now I want to find something to put the sentiment onto. In the ephemera pack, there are these great little notebook sheets which are blank. The spiral at the top and the aging on the paper matches the feel I'm trying to create on the card. I'm also going to add a sentiment which will fit the kid that I'm making this for. Creating sentiments for the men in my family often involves humor or something mom would say to them. I'm going to create the phrase, "Always embrace simplicity." There are plenty of letters in this kit, so you can change the sentiment to fit the guy in your life or give this as a galentine to one of your friends. To build this up a little, I'm going to add a few more layers. Behind the smaller sentiment, I've brought in a label and a ticket, and then I've added an additional phrase that says, "Worth the hype." To bring in some more of that dark blue and create diagonal flow across the card, I'm adding a tab in the upper left corner. Alright, the basics for this card are done. I'll be adding some stitching and then I'll share the finished piece at the end of the video. This second card is going to use some of the green and tan elements in the kit. I have a background cut from the blue scenic route paper and have layered a green piece over it. At the bottom of the card, I'm going to add this 2-inch polka dot piece, and to make it more masculine, I'm going to bring in some ink and ink all of the edges, and I'll also add some sanding. I don't necessarily have to do this aging technique, but my 20-something boys are bearded beasts, so I wanted the cards to have a more rugged feel. If they were younger, I would probably keep the colors bright and add a different phrase to the card. Now I'm going to start creating all of the layers. I'm going to be using mostly blue and green and tan on the card. I have a little receipt here, an olive colored tag, a list of numbers, and the sentiment. The longer piece is going to work as a divider between the two green pieces, and it's going to span the width of the card. Keeping all of those elements in the background a similar color is really going to help that red sentiment stand out. Once again, I'm using those letter stickers for the main sentiment. I'm going to spell out the word today. Now, I know this isn't very Valentine-y, but I am trying to avoid that 20-something eye roll this year, so I'm keeping the sentiments rather neutral. I also want you to be able to use these cards for other occasions, so I like to give you ideas of ways that you can build sentiments with the items in your scrapbook kits. At this point, the letters are the only reddish item on the card, so I'm going to bring in a little flag that says "Time well spent" to balance this out. And then I'm going to emphasize that sentiment a little bit more with a starburst that matches the tag. Here's the second card. It's simple and versatile and can be used for more than just Valentine's Day. All right, 2 boys down, 1 to go. For this final card, I'm using the teal polka dot pattern for the base with a 1.5-inch wood floral strip at the top. I'm going to add some distressing to it with ink and sanding to give this a little bit more of a masculine feel. As you make these cards, feel free to switch out the patterns and sentiments. You probably have quite a few leftover bits from your scrapbook kits that you could use to make Valentines. If you do, I would love for you to let me know in the comments what you came up with. While you're at it, go ahead and tap that subscribe button and let me know that you're a new subscriber. If you've been here a while, I would love it if you tapped that thumbs up and let me know that you enjoyed today's video. In the center of the card, I have a receipt piece, a few tags, and the sentiment. And I inked the edges of each of these to give this card a more cohesive feel. For the larger sentiment, I'm going to add "Love You." Now, it took me a minute to decide exactly how I wanted that word "I love you" to look. At first, I added just the larger "you" and the word "love," but that didn't look quite right. So I played around with some of the letters a bit and decided to just spell everything out. I'm going to go ahead and finish adding the letters, and then we're going to take a look at those finished cards. All right, so here are the 3 Valentine cards that I'm sending my boys this year. The first card is a basic design with the torn pattern paper background and layers of ephemera. Under the letters, I added some zigzag stitching and added another tag behind some of the layers. I also attached a few staples to the card and a paper clip to bring in some more blue. The second card is a great design with green, blue, and bits of red. To this one, I added a little stitching on the side for texture, some ribbon, and a few little enamel dots that came with the kit. On the final card, I did add some more red with the twine across the top. I also added some stitching in 3 places, a tab off to the side, and ended up spelling out the words "Love You" on the tag. Instead of ribbon or twine on the tag, I added a button at the top to bring in more neutral colors and added a little enamel heart at the top. I would love to know which of these you like best or were inspired by most. All 3 of these were designed as Valentine cards for my boys, but you can use them for just about any occasion. Projects like this are a great way to use up the elements that you have in your scrapbook kits, and I hope that these masculine cards inspired you to do just that. If you're one who enjoys pinning photos to inspiration boards, I have added still shots of these cards on the Not Just for Boys Kit Club blog and on my website for you to use. If you would like more ideas for using this kit, you can join the Not Just for Boys Kit Club community on Facebook and see even more designs. I want to thank you for joining me for another project. If you have any questions about these cards or the supplies listed below, feel free to post that in the comments. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.